Yo, it's your boy Kenji, man, and I got another spoiler review of Yellowjackets. This is episode 5. It's called Blood Hive. Now, this episode, it's crazy, man. But it, my suspicions were true. There's a, there's some type of ghost witch thing happening, you know what I'm saying? They're doing that play. There's some witchcraft going on. I always thought it was going to be some witch stuff. Now, we're going to start off with the present and then take it to the past, like we always do. It's not the same route that the episodes do, but for me to give it to you, we're going to try to organize it. But let's get into the present. Shauna. Now, we know Shauna is still out here dipping out with Adam, right? It's now Halloween in the present of these episodes. So we see Shauna sneaking out to her little supposed book club, right? Her daughter is also trying to go out, and she's trying, her daughter doesn't listen to nobody. Don't have kids while you're still in high school. They won't listen to you. But look, so the husband's trying to go with her to the book club, but she ain't going to the book club, so she convinces him not to go. But so she goes out with Adam. They go to this little young scene where people are dressing up for Halloween, and they out there, they wearing masks. She doesn't want to wear the mask because she feels like, I'm a grown ass adult. I got a child that could be possibly at this party, which ends up being true. At first, we've already got this idea that Taissa, Shauna are seeing stuff. Taissa seeing wolves. Shauna is seeing Jackie. And I'm assuming Jackie died out there. Alright? And they made sure to let you know in this episode that Jackie is dead. But we don't know if she died out there or she died when she came back. We just don't know. So she thinks she sees Jackie. She follows Jackie. And she turns the person around, and guess what? It's her daughter who snuck out to go downtown. And she's wearing the same outfit that the Yellowjackets were wearing. So it seemed like it was a ghost or something. So ghost fooled. No ghost right there. And so her daughter finds out about Adam. Alright? And the next day, they go off to another club and try to get her off of the ecstasy that she's on. And they talk about it. They reconcile their differences. Because Shauna's going through something, people. Something happened out there. So she's going through something. Now we go back home the next day, and the daughter is trying to blackmail the Shauna. Like, she want to tell her dad that his wife is cheating on him, as if that's real blackmail. And she, Shauna, you can see Shauna is very smart because she's like, go ahead, we can do mutual destruction right now. And guess what? All your college fund pretty much gonna go to the divorce lawyers. They're gonna drain up everything, and it's gonna ruin her life. And she doesn't tell. Sean even called, what's his name? I'm gonna just say husband at the gym. Yeah, something like that. And tries to he's like, go ahead, girl. I forgot the daughter's name. Tell him what you thought. And she told him that she had snuck out, letting him know that your daughter's wild, bro. So get it together, both of y'all. So let's move on to Taissa. Now Taissa is running for the Senate of the New Jersey, New Jersey Senate, but she's still having problems. Now somebody wrote "spill" SPILL on her door in red paint, and so she's thinking, because she just saw a wolf. She keeps seeing wolves. Thinking like, girl, what are you seeing? So she's thinking it's somebody that knows what happened out there or somebody following her. And she finds the paint, the paint that was used to do that under her son's, bed. What's his name? I forgot his little boy name. I forgot his name, y'all. But I'm trying to keep up with all them names. But just know it's the son. And they try to confront him, and he's not telling. So, but he says it's the woman that's in the tree, the lady in the tree that did it. And I'm like, who is this lady in the tree? Witchcraft. I'm starting to think it's witchcraft. So they think it's the little boy that did it. And her wife comes back and tell her, something has to be done. Maybe the boy is missing you because you're too busy on this Senate run that you're not focusing on him, and that's the reason why he's acting out that way. And so she makes a plan to try to, her and her wife have a plan to just, exit the race because she's losing by 20 points in the suburbs. She's not winning. But instead, what she does is, instead of saying that she's going to give up the race during her announcement in front of the media, instead, she uses the spill, the SPILL that's painted on her door, as if somebody who was like a Republican or somebody that was against her, she uses it as a way to, hey, look, victimhood basically, right? Yo, somebody's trying to scare me out of the race. I'm not going to lead the race, even though she just told her wife that she was about to drop out. And so her wife is looking at her like, oh, you gonna lie? You gonna lie to use this to help your race? Oh, and you can see the disappointment in her wife's face because like they said, this race probably the reason why your son is acting out that way. Even though I think it's some other stuff. You know what I mean? Now we go back to Misty and Natalie. Now, Natalie got the phone call from Kevin, letting her know that he got the toxicology reports for Travis, and he wasn't on anything. He wasn't on no drugs. So that confirmed to her, Natalie, that it wasn't suicide, even though that's not enough for me. So she decides to, Kevin was trying to ask her out again, right? He was like, look, when the next time I'm going to see you? When will I see you again? You know? But she hangs up like she's like, I'm getting another phone call. Lying. She's not really interested in Kevin. That's fucked up, Kevin. That she's doing it to you, bro. You need to just cut it off. All right. Know when you're being used. So she calls back Misty because in the last episode, Misty offered her to somebody that can be able to break into Travis's emails. Or whose emails? I think it's somebody emails. I forgot. Let me see. There's so much that happened. Oh, and Kevin's files. Yeah, the same person. I'm tripping. But they get into Kevin's files and they get all this information and they see these pictures that were on the ground underneath where Travis hanged himself allegedly. And they see that there were burnt candle marks, like candle wax that had burnt. So they're assuming a seance happened, right? Now this is a big point in this episode because they do a seance in the past, but we're gonna get to that. So they're assuming, somebody did that. Somebody had a seance there, and they call. No, Natalie calls Thaisa. They meet up at Natalie's house, and she reveals to Thaisa that, Travis probably got killed by somebody else that knows their secrets, right? And another thing, Misty gave Natalie a gift, like one of those vaporizers for your room, but there's a hidden camera in there. So don't ever take anything from Misty. Don't pick up a phone call. Don't even use her to get a ride, nigga. She will do something to you, bro. Bro, evil bitch, bro. But look, they call Shauna and let her, try to get in contact. So you're gonna see in the next episode, Natalie, but they also Natalie was, they was calling Shauna to tell him about Travis, but Misty had already called Shauna, and so Natalie calls her a conniving bitch. So they probably think it's her that's doing all this crazy stuff. And, I wouldn't find that hard to believe because Misty, you do. Even if you wasn't the person doing this, I would still think you was a part of it because of your nature. You cannot be trusted because of all the crazy stuff you do. You can't even try to help somebody because they won't even believe you. They'll be like, nah, you probably in on this. So we're gonna see in the next episode Natalie, Taissa, Shauna probably coming together and trying to figure out what is going on. All right, because we know the journalist is working for Taissa. All right, so stay tuned, man. It's gonna be great. But now let's get into the past. Now in the past, we seeing the girls deal with their periods, right? They cutting up cloth. Um, they all synced, right? You know, girls be around each other. Their periods sync, and the only one who's not having a period is Shauna, and we know why. Because Shauna was fucking Jackie's boyfriend before this flight, so she is now pregnant, y'all, and she tries to pretend that she's not pregnant, right? She tries to go dip her cotton in some deer blood, and Taissa caught her. She's like, "What you do?" So we also see that Jackie is having a hard time making herself useful. Everybody else is doing something. Everybody cutting wood. Everybody else is having a role to play. Except Jackie, she's just complaining, waking up late. And we also see that Lottie is the girl that I thought was on drugs, but she's on medication because she's schizophrenia. She has schizophrenia. So I thought she was popping pills. My bad. I was wrong about that. But like I said, Jackie needed a pep talk from Shauna. So you see, the worlds are different. Like in school, she was the one you could depend on. But now that she's out here, she has to depend on you. Now, Jackie decides to come up with an idea to have a seance because at nighttime they hear something up in the attic, even though we know that dead body was in the attic. And so they have a seance, right? It's all fun and games, right? First they just being silly, making up stuff until some real shit started happening, right? So the wind blows. All right, we got Lottie. Her back is toward the window up in the attic while they're doing this seance. They got these candles all around, the same way they saw, the same way they had it with Travis. But the candles made that symbol, that sign that we keep seeing throughout the show. And so, like I said, the window blew open and the wind hit Lottie and she started to scream. And then she started speaking in French. And the girls, Jackie, lets everybody know, like, we took French class, but we wasn't that good. We both sucked. And she tries to figure out what Lottie is saying. And Lottie is talking about, you gotta spill blood, you gotta sacrifice blood, or y'all gonna die, something like that, right? Because they really couldn't speak French. But now all of a sudden, the schizophrenic girl is speaking fluid French after being hit by something that came through the window. Now, throughout all this stuff that's happening, with the noise making, the seance, you see Taissa is not the non-believer. She's the only one. She's not the only one. Also, the girl who's the Christian girl is not up there. And then when they hear that noise, they both come up and they go and see what's going on. And everybody's scared. They're freaking out. Nobody wants to go sleep upstairs. And rightfully so. It's like, bro, something happened. And Taissa's like, look, nothing happened, all right? This is because she's crazy. She's been tripping out. She's not having her medication. She's schizophrenia. Look, I'm going to sleep up in the attic just to prove that there's nothing going on. And nobody goes with her at first until Shauna goes up. And it's the right person to go up, right? And so when they go up there, like Shauna goes up there after because she feels, guilty that nobody went up there with Taissa. And so Taissa lets her know that she knows you're pregnant and that, she decides to keep that secret for Shauna. But, excuse me, eventually it's going to come out, man. Your stomach going to blow up if they stay out there long enough, which we know is going to be, 18 months. So she's going to have a child in the wilderness, people. With all this shit going on, spooky ghosts, Scooby-Doo type shit. But we got some good news. You know, they had a couple of love interests happen. You know, had a lesbian relationship. Taissa and that girl that she's in love with. What's the one? The one that Jackie and Shauna left in the airplane. What's her name? Don't know her name. Too many names. But they made out. And Travis and Natalie, the past ones, they were out hunting and they made out. I'm like, let's make it last forever. It's not gonna last forever. It's just a fling. But that did happen. And we also see that the religious girl, I'm gonna get her name down one day once they start saying it more often. She's reading the manuals, manual for flying the plane. She's trying to figure out. She's the one person that believes in God. You could tell, and she's trying to be the one person that try to get up out of there and survive. And she's not for the seances and all the ghost stuff. She threw a Bible at Lottie when she was tripping out, and when she hit her with it, she broke out of her trance, which was crazy. And and also Thais, she's not a non-believer, but she still doesn't believe in that ghost shit. But I can see how she could still feel that way, but something about to happen. Something crazy is happening. Something that has something to do with witchcraft. That's where I'm coming from. This is some witchcraft stuff. It's crazy that the episode's called Blood Hive because all those girls was bleeding up in there. But a good episode though, man. Great episode. Not good, great. It just has so much. Every time the episode ends, bro, I'm just like, damn, I gotta wait another week. That's how you know I love this show. I ain't had one of these in a while. I very appreciated HBO for doing this, making something this interesting. Yeah, and it's also talking about certain politics, and it's not that bad because you get it. It just fits for the show. The politics, the back and forth between the girls and the boys talking about each other, especially with Travis and Natalie. It ended up being some flirtatious stuff, and he brought them together. So, I mean, it's a little bit for everybody, right? Get what you get out the show. Stop complaining. I'm done complaining about politics. It is what it is. Long as the show good. So, it's your boy Kenji. Subscribe, comment, like, share. Do all the thug bizzle. I'm out.